Welcome to Campaign 2023 in Mansfield. I'm Steve Cosio with the About Mansfield podcast. And seated to my left, yes, she is really to my left, is the managing editor for the Mansfield Record. That is Amanda Rogers. And hello.
Hi, how are you, Steve?
Address the Mansfieldites.
It's nice to have y'all here. Thank you for listening.
This time around, and it is an absolute pleasure to have About Mansfield partner with the Mansfield Record in doing these interviews, whether it's the school board or in this case today for city council. And if you want to take a moment, head on over to the About Mansfield podcast page, which is aboutmansfield.com. Right there on the homepage, you can enter your email address, click on subscribe, and every time a new episode comes out, you get an email stating that a new episode has come out. So this way it's very free, it's very easy to do. But there's also a way that the Mansfield Record can keep in touch with you. And Amanda, how do people do that?
You go to mansfieldrecord.com, you click on subscribe, and you enter your email, and you will get a weekly e-blast straight to your email with the top stories from the past week. It's free.
It's free. Free is my favorite four-letter F word. Can you believe that? No comment?
No comment. No, it's political season. I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Well, then let's get started. In the studio today, incumbent Todd Tonore, running for Mansfield City Council Place.
Six. Steve, so glad to be here, and thank you for the invitation to come be with you guys today.
Well, I'm not sure if you'll be thanking us after the tough questions that Amanda's going to start you with. So I yield to the lady to my left, Amanda, with the first question.
Todd, as you know, you and I went to college together. We didn't know each other in college, but you and your wife and I all went to the same college. How long have you been in Mansfield? How long have you been?
I moved in Mansfield in 1991. Actually moved here from North Louisiana, Monroe. I went to college at the University of Louisiana at Monroe. Went to work for a small manufacturing facility, family-owned, in the paper bag industry, and moved here to manage our sales force. Very difficult to fly in and out of Monroe. You had to fly to Dallas to get anywhere, so it made sense to move our group here, our sales group here to, I had salespeople all over the country and trying to manage a territory in this area. So it was just a natural fit. Couldn't wait to get here. It's been a great place. Since then, I've started my own businesses here and raised my kids here. My kids went to MISD. I have 4 daughters and currently have 4 grandchildren, and fixing to have my 5th grandchild on Election Day. So real excited about that.
Todd, why are you running for re-election?
It's that's a great question.
That's why I'm the host.
It's exciting. It's an exciting time. I mean, Mansfield is we're a growing city, as you know. I've really enjoyed. I ran 2 years ago. From a business guy standpoint, I felt like being part of a city that's growing, we needed some business folks involved. I actually had a lot of local business folks encouraging me to run. I ran and was fortunate enough to get elected, and it has been a really exciting time trying to get the right taxable assets on the ground with the 20% property we have left. And I'm dealing with business guys on a daily basis coming in and out of the city. These big-time developers are all big-time business guys. So I've really enjoyed that. I've enjoyed working with our staff internally, helping them as well. The city is a tremendous business. We have 600 employees, and we manage about $10 billion worth of taxable assets. And it's real critical that we get the right taxable assets on the ground to manage our essential services forever, which is for a long time. And by that, I mean police, fire, first responders, water, sewer plants. I'll give you an example. We just paid $1.4 million for a fire truck, Steve.
Yeah.
So if you can tell me what one costs 50 years from now, I'd like to know. But I can tell you it's going to be more than $1.4 million. So we've got to get the right taxable assets on the ground to take care of the expenses of this city forever. And if we don't, do that, all these taxes are going to fall on our single-family homes. So it's exciting. It's an opportunity. I look at it as an opportunity. I told people when I ran, guys like me really don't have time to run, but I think it's important that we do and get involved as the city's growing. Once the city's grown out, then we can get different types of folks in here to hold everybody accountable. But right now, we're in competition with our neighbors, Grand Prairie and Arlington. I was with Arlington's mayor last night, Jim Ross, and I love when these guys and come up and go, "Hey man, how did y'all get that super studio? We thought we had it." We're in competition.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
everything that we want, they want. So, and that's where we're at right now. So working with our EDC guys, being real creative with these economic development agreements, trying to lure these companies in here, traveling all over the country, which I've done a lot in the last 2 years with our EDC guys. And, naturally, we've been working on a lot of stuff that we can't even announce yet. And that's another reason you just hate to walk away when you're right in the middle of this. So, unfortunately, or fortunately, we have to run every 3 years. My term got cut short a year because of COVID. So I've only been in office a little over 2 years. So, but anyway, that's why I'm running. I love the people I work with. This council is together as one. I've served on a lot of boards. I currently serve on the Mansfield Methodist Hospital Board. I've served on the Education Foundation Board with MISD. We've got great partnerships working with both those entities now. With the hospital board, we're working with Texas Tech University and the nursing school along with the city. So that's been very exciting. We've just got a lot of good stuff going on. It's really good right now. And I love working with the staff. Our city manager, Joe, is very, very smart. These guys are smart people, and Joe's done a really good job of surrounding himself around some really, really smart people. So,
what do you think the biggest issue, the biggest problem facing Mansfield is right now?
Well, we got, like any city, Mansfield, the growth is out of control. So with growth comes traffic. Traffic is an issue. Trying to fix the current traffic situation, we've addressed that and doing all we can, honestly. We've got $125 million budgeted to fix the internal street system that you currently see. The issue we have is you can 4-lane or you can 6-lane Broad Street, but all you're going to do is get the traffic to the major intersections, the bottlenecks quicker.
Right.
So one of the things we're looking at is, we're spending time and money and effort on traffic signals that, using technology that's available that can detect how many cars are in line to try to flush through those intersections. Traffic, we've got a chance south of town. What's really exciting to me is we got an opportunity south of town to fix it. It's going to be hard to fix exactly what we're dealing with here and quickly. We can make it better. But south of town, as we develop south of town, the developments that we're trying to get are basically forced to get, and I'll explain that in a second. But we can create a lot of different access points. So neighbors will have a lot of different access points. We can put services in those neighborhoods where they don't have to come to, Broad Street or Walnut Creek to get a loaf of bread or a gallon of milk. Where now, at some point in our lifetime, we separated residential and commercial. Mm-hmm. And when we did that, it created a traffic problem. And what we're trying to do is go back the other direction with these new urban-style neighborhoods where you don't have to necessarily leave for every service you need. It'd be nice to have a local deli you could walk to or drive a cart to, or, a shop that you could, spend some time in.
Yeah, I know that there are apartments that are slated to go into the shops at Broad.
Yes.
Which means you are within walking distance of sporting goods, not only sporting goods, but hockey and basketball. You are restaurants, clothing, And if you want to walk far enough, you can walk across the street to what will soon become HEB.
Right.
And that does make sense, doesn't it? If
Absolutely.
you can walk to your services and your goods.
Right. Or take a golf cart, or, to just be in an area where you don't have to get in your car physically to get there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the apartment complex at the Shops at Broad, I feel like that was part of the original plan. That was actually zoned back, I think, in 2012, way before me. But it, that was a critical piece in that neighborhood or in the Shops at Broad that, businesses follow rooftops. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's not the opposite. So, having those people there, if they would have had the people there to support those businesses every day of the week, not just when you and I go there on the weekends, but those businesses have to operate every day of the week. If those people would have been put there in the beginning, I think we would have had much better retail in there. If maybe not Clear Fork yet, okay, but I love how people tell me all the time, man, I wish we could have like a Clear Fork in Mansfield. And I always ask them, what do you like about Clear Fork? Well, we love the retail. We love the great restaurants. And I'll say, have you ever looked up? There's 2,000 people living on top of it. Yeah. Okay, that's what makes it work. And that's what we're talking about as we develop the south side and the west side of Mansfield. And we're not just talking about apartment complexes or multifamily when we say urban style. We're talking about hometown type situations, neighborhoods that have all different types of pricing, or prices of homes, retail, restaurants, corner grocery stores, corner delis, village style type neighborhoods. Houses moved up, front porches moved up to the front of the street where the street's the amenity. Mm-hmm. At some point in our lifetime, again, we decided to put all our kids in the backyard. We don't know, half our neighbors in town don't know their neighbors. That's a shame, but that's a reality. So, we've got to we can get this right because we're starting with a clean slate. It's very hard to get it right under the current situation. But as we grow out the south side of town, we can get this right. So
there has been some criticism about that there are too many apartments.
Absolutely.
Going into the city, that people just see too many of them being built.
Right.
On 360, on Regency, that they just see all of these popping up.
Yeah.
What is your response to that?
Well, bottom line is every administration always blames the previous, right? That I don't care if it's federal, state, or local. That's just natural. I'm not here to blame anybody. What I'm here to tell you is a lot of the apartments you've seen going up are part of the reserve PD that was zoned in 2005. Now, if I would have been on that council in 2005 and Broad Street wasn't there and the hospital wasn't there, I probably would have approved it too, because they were just wanting something in that big field, right? But now, naturally, Mansfield's grown to that point. The problem with that PD, there was no design in it. Today, all these new developments, we're implementing SOMA, which is form-based code, which allows this council and future councils to tell these developers, you can build this apartment before you can build the next one. You have to build this office or you have to build this restaurant. We can control the form that the development's built in. Where now the apartments you see now in the reserve, there's no form. So these developers are coming in by right. They have the right to build so many apartments, and naturally that's what they're building first. And we're trying to push them to get the good stuff. The good stuff will come. Unfortunately, right now the market for apartments is high, especially with all the interest rates like they are. It's easy for them to rent these apartments. All these investment guys, if I was in a builder, that's what I'd want to be building. That's where the money is. Okay, they want to build them, fill them, sell them. So we're juggling a lot. By right, they have the right to build them. And all we can do as a council is try to get the best product on the ground. The good news is they all want incentives, and truthfully, we want to give them incentives.
Sure.
Because if we got the ability to give them an incentive, we got a little bit of control over the design. But we don't have any control over it. We can't tell them they can't build them. We can't do that. By law, we can't do that. They have zoning in place. They're already approved.
Right.
So
let's go back to traffic.
yes, sir.
Thousands of people leave Mansfield every day to go to work. Thousands of people come from outside of Mansfield to work in our city, which is adding to Debbie Lane, Broad Street,
Exactly right.
Is partnering with other municipalities around the area and developing a mass transit system. Is that one of the answers?
I think ultimately that will be an answer. I mean, this council just has been working with some mass transit on some Uber style.
Yeah. Like Arlington has.
Like Arlington does. Yeah, I mean, that's part of our problem. I own restaurants here in town. I have employees that I have to loan money to come to work because they can't afford a car. So they have to Uber into here. And, I'll be honest with you, your hourly restaurant employees that make $14 to $17 an hour, it's hard for them to pay $20 one way to come to work every day. So, yeah, we do. At some point, we're going to have to address mass transit in this community. I'll tell you something that's interesting people aren't really thinking about. So there's a lot of TxDOT construction going on around us. You've got 287 going to be 4-lane to Midlothian. You've got 287 going north that's going to bypass I-20 to 820.
That's $1 billion. Yeah.
All this is happening now. It's going to happen in the next 5 years.
Yep.
You've got 360 north going to bypass 20 to 161. Okay. And then on the south side, you've got 360. The toll road is now announced that they're going to go further south and attach 67 south of Venus. Okay, now there's a lot of people thinking, man, this is going to be great. We're going to be able to get out of town, right? We're going to get to Fort Worth quicker. We're going to get to Grand Prairie quicker. But guess what? They're going to be able to get to us quicker.
That's right.
These aren't one-way roads. Okay, so what this is going to do, it's going to make Mansfield even a more attractive place to live because you can live here and now work in Fort Worth and bypass that traffic. You can work in Grand Prairie. So I think there's nothing we can do to stop this growth, guys. All this land south of us is already zoned. The owners, the landowners have by right, they have right to sell it. So all we can do is try to manage it. And I personally feel Mansfield's going to 130,000 people, and there's not a whole lot we can do to stop it. All we can do is try to get the right people in here to manage it. One thing I wanted to mention, and it's something else, that all this property south of town is selling somewhere in the neighborhood of $8 to $15 a foot. Okay, well, if you do the math, that's $300,000 to $600,000 per acre. Now I want you to think about that for a minute. When you're having to pay that much for dirt, there's not a whole lot you can do, Steve. You got to go up. Mm-hmm. There's not many business models that work. So as we develop that, that's when I said earlier, we're forced into that planned development style. You've got to have planned developments that offer a lot for these developers to be able to build anything. They can't come in and just build a box store anymore.
Right. I think that the amount of stories caps out at 5, I think, is the hospital. Do you envision Mansfield having high rises?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You're going to start seeing, you're going to see some 7-story stuff here, I would think, fairly quickly. We've got in the Innovation Center, we've got our first 5-story Class A office complex coming. I'm really excited about that, as well as everything else that Innovation Center does for our citizens to teach them trades. It helps our manufacturing facilities here in town. All of our manufacturers here in town are really excited about that. So, yeah, I think, I don't think, we're not out recruiting that, but I do feel like you will see some of that as we go forward here.
Amanda's got the final question, and then we'll open it up for a closing statement.
Absolutely.
So, do you intend to take any money from any PACs?
Absolutely not. I'm self-funded. I've never taken any money, and just for the record, I on this $1,000 siphon that the council was offered here, I actually donate mine back to the city, to the animal shelter. Get a 1099 at the end of the year. It actually costs me money, so I can't afford for them to give me too big a much raise. So. Yeah. But no, I've been very blessed in that sense. I do understand. I would like to make a comment about that. I do understand. I think it's important that cities pay these council members and mayors something because it takes a tremendous amount of time. What I don't want to see is just a bunch of wealthy guys being able to serve. I don't think that's fair. I think you got to have an opportunity to allow everybody the opportunity to serve. And the time restraints to do this proper, especially in a town like Mansfield that's growing right now. I'm spending 30, 35, 40 hours a week. Yeah. And I mean, it's not something that's, you can show up twice a month, but it's like anything else. You get out of it what you put into it. So it takes a tremendous amount of time to be there with our staff, assist, our citizens and all the phone calls we get normally. About potholes and whatever. We still get those. So, but as we're growing the city, we're dealing with a lot of business stuff too. So,
Todd Tonore is running for Mansfield City Council Place 6. The microphone is open for you to address the listening audience. Do you have a website? Do you have a Facebook? Do you have a TikTok? Or and again, why you're running for reelection?
I can tell you I'm running because it's an exciting time. And I feel like I'm running primarily for our kids and our grandkids. The things that we're working on right now, we may never see. But and we're taking a lot of bullets. There's no doubt about it. But, I look at Mayor Vandergriff when he was at Arlington. People don't realize a lot of the things that he worked on, he never saw. But someone has to take the first step, you have to cast the vision and you have to follow the vision. And I'm just excited to work with the people. I'm excited. We have a great mayor. We have a great council. We have a great staff. And it's just an exciting time. Mansfield's a very great product. I know there's a lot of people in town that would love for us to shut the gate, but we just can't do that. Yeah. I mean, the gate's open, and people want to be here for the same reason we're here. So
and so if they wanted more information,
please you can reach out. I'll give you my cell numbers: 817-371-8645. I'm probably the most accessible council member you will ever run into. I'm always around the restaurant. People walk up to me at El Primo's or the Vault. Everybody pretty much in town knows where I'm at. So it's not hard to find me. I'm on Facebook. I also have a campaign page, Todd Tonore, Mansfield campaign page as well. So I'm not dodging anybody, so.
Early voting starts April 24th, runs through May 2nd. Election day is Saturday, May 6th. And Todd Tonore, good luck on May 6th.
No, thank you. And please go vote, whether you vote for me or not. Just please go vote. This election's really important. I mean, the propositions that are on there are really important to give this council and future councils the ability to be able to compete with our neighbors. So just go vote.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.